I'm Audrey. Today I'm trying out the Kosas Bb Burst Tinted Gel Cream. It's a type of tinted moisturizer more than, I would say, a BB cream. It doesn't have the opacity that a lot of BB creams do. And I have it in the shade 10, very light neutral. I've already tried it. I have some thoughts. But today I'll be putting it on camera so that I can talk about both this particular product and also some of the challenges that I find tinted moisturizers can have. I find I want them to work, you know? I've tried several because it seems like such a good idea that if I have dry skin and I want hydration, I want a little bit of, color evening, then a tinted moisturizer sounds perfect. But often I find that they don't sit very well on my skin, that the way that the pigment is sort of mixed into the medium. I do some painting, like oil and watercolor, and so when I look at these products I think, okay, so it's like we have a pigment, we grind up the pigment, we put it in a gel medium, in this case, much like an acrylic painter might use, but definitely not the same stuff. And the combination should apply evenly, right? If we have the sort of right type of pigment, the right grind of it, the right medium, etc. And so I think with a lot of tinted moisturizers, they may work on other skin types. Obviously people like them, but something about the combination of dry skin for me and my skin being pale, so there, like I've talked about in previous videos, there isn't a lot of leeway for the tone to be wrong and still look good if it's a lightweight formula. I think that combination of things often makes tinted moisturizers challenging to use, but I had hopes for this one. Like I said, I've tried it, I have some thoughts, and so let me tell you what I hoped would be the case about this. I hoped that it would feel moisturizing, that it would be easy to, or I hope that it will. I hope that it will feel moisturizing to put on, that it will give me a smooth texture on the skin, that I will find it really easy to apply with my hands, because I think a lot of the appeal of something like a tinted moisturizer is that you put on your SPF and then you put on your tinted moisturizer and you're ready to go. People talk about this as like the thing you throw on when you're just going to the grocery store. And so I wanted to have that ease. I want it to be in an appropriate shade for my skin tone so that it does blend in smoothly, so that it does help my face match my neck, which is often what I'm going for here. And I saw good reviews of this one. So after watching some reviews and looking at the product info, I thought, okay, this is one I can give a try. So I'm going to start by swatching it. I'll just put a little bit on my hand anyhow to apply. So you can see, hopefully, it has quite a bit of glow to it. What I see in the monitor makes it look quite light, but I think that is the reflectiveness of the light outside. What I see in, person here is that it's quite a peachy color, and that's something that I consistently find with Kosas products, that when you get into I can't speak for the medium and deeper shades, but when you are in their lightest part of the shade range, things tend to be very bright peach, at least relative to my own complexion and what I'm aiming for. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to start applying it onto my cheek, just with a finger. And I will endeavor to grab a mirror and not get product on the floor. So here we go. smoothly, which is nice. I do see the color streaking here on my cheek. I can see the color kind of go one way as I rub this way and the other way as I rub this way. I don't love that about it. And that is just continuing, even as I'm blending it out. That might be as much as I can accomplish with that. All right, let's dot a little bit on my forehead. So I'll say it was really streaky when I tried it before, and I do have a little bit more moisturizer on. I'm trying some different products. I wanted to try to get the smoothest surface that I could with this. Give it a fair chance, you know. And right now, it's going to be difficult to tell if it actually matches my skin tone because my face becomes very flushed when I'm touching it. So I'm going to apply it, and then I will wait a minute, wait until I see that flushing come down, and then I'll start talking again about how I think that it's sitting on my skin. So let's do the other cheek. And here I'm applying it a little bit more like I would with a regular moisturizer, you know. I don't tend to tap things in when they have a moisturizing texture. I want to just kind of, you know, put a little bit in one spot and then rub it in. So I do like the texture of it. You know, that sort of gel texture I find is quite nice. Let's get some on my chin. Maybe a little bit more on my nose. And you should note, some products like this have SPF, but this one doesn't. I suspect that it would change the formula quite a bit if they were to try to add that. And they have a separate glowy sunblock type thing that's available now. That streaking is just continuing. Like, anywhere that I have a little bit more dryness, the color just seems to catch and it sits very, very poorly on my driest area here. I'm going to add just a little bit more. But anywhere that I'm a little bit more dry, instead of getting a smooth application of color, I just get these streaks, you know, like, even though like brush marks, even though I'm just using my fingers. And it really settles into like every bit of dryness, flaking skin, anywhere that there's like a place for it to catch, it does. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to smooth it out anymore in this area. But I think that's even, just about. It's also interesting, it kind of is sitting right in the line of the scar that I have on my forehead. And I can see that around my hairline again, it looks pretty weird, pretty uneven. But I will since my hands are now kind of glowy sticky, I'm gonna go wash my hands, and that should hopefully give it a chance to dry down a little bit and for my cheeks to calm, and we'll see a little bit more of the finished color so that you can get a sense of whether, you know, that what felt like a very bright peach to me in the swatch, whether or not that actually blends in the way that I want. So I'll be right back. So I had a look in the bathroom mirror, and I'm hoping if I lean forward, you'll be able to see a little bit more of it. Like here on my forehead, it's very patchy and streaky. On my cheeks, I'm still a little flushed. On my cheeks, it looks like I tried to mix foundation with sunblock or something. You know, it's a really weird texture, and not a flattering one, but not even, it doesn't even look makeupy so much as like bad science experiment. Yeah, not appealing. Let's see if I smile. Maybe you can see a little bit more of the texture. So it doesn't feel too wet right now. It feels like it's starting to set. So it does have, it does have that glow for sure. Sometimes I find that I think this is a factor of my dry skin and skin texture. Sometimes I find that glowy products look just a little too metallic on my face, especially. Less so if I put it here, you know, on my neck and chest, but on my face, the reflectiveness, I think, the way that things sit on my skin, it can just end up being kind of weirdly metallic and not healthy. Again, looking like I sort of spackled stuff over and did not know what I was doing, which I hope I have a little bit more skill than that. So, and here's it on this side. Yeah, not thrilled with the result. It does look better than the first time I tried it, where I put some on my hands and just applied it like lotion and, you know, no extra skin prep, whatever I still had on my skin at that point in the day. And it was even streakier. And the streakiness, I think, draws out, you know, the ways that the color does or doesn't match, which, I don't know. I think, to my surprise, I think we're in the right ballpark, but it's so hard to tell with the way that it's looking on my cheeks. And again, that reflectiveness, I definitely can say I don't think it does anything to tone down rosacea. So if that's something you were hoping for, I think it has too little coverage, and I think that the texture also just makes it look, I don't know, frosted. Not in a good way. So, and you know, I can see on my nose also it's catching a little bit there. Yeah, this does not feel like a winner. And it's too bad because I think it has the potential to be a good formula. That's what it feels like, you know. It feels like it's close to the right amount of glow. It's close to an appropriate amount of pigment for the medium. But the way that they've formulated it really can't handle any amount of texture, any amount of unevenness, and any of the denser rosacea patches. Like, I have a little bit of dry skin here that didn't look so bad before I started putting things on, but now it looks like it's about ready to peel. So, unfortunately, yeah, I think that's as good as it's going to get. I certainly wouldn't put more on at this stage. It will only get worse. And fortunately, my plans for today, it's Saturday, My only plans are to do some yard work and chores, so it's fine. All right, let's, tidy up a few other things here. So I'm going to put on the e.l.f. Putty color corrector eye brightener thing that I've been liking. I'll just put a little bit of that. I feel like how do I hold this? There we go. So, just taking a little bit on my finger. And then maybe, let's see if I can blend in the edges a little bit. This may only make things worse, but sometimes the dampness of a sponge can just make things blend in a lot better. Other people use brushes. I often find that, again, because of the dryness, a brush really isn't going to pick things up smoothly. It's just going to add more streaks. So if I have harsh edges and I don't have a lot of, really creamy textures that are playing well together, then I'll just use the sponge. So, all right, just a little bit of extra brightening and coverage there. And I'll put the cap on. And I'll do a minimal bit of brow. I'll do a minimal amount of brow, what do you call it? Highlighting's the opposite word. You know, that thing. Brush. And then take the pencil and just very, very lightly, carefully dot a bit under the bottom, the lower edge of it, just to create more depth. I'm not filling anything in. I'm not penciling them in darker. I'm just helping firm up the bottom. So that it enhances the overall effect. Up close I can see this if I'm looking for it, but it's a light enough pencil and my brows are so light that it really doesn't stand out. And again, it just gives it a little bit more of a solid look. Kind of curve things around. So we have that. That's the typical minimal eye look that I do. And I realize for a lot of people, they're going to feel extremely underdone, under whatever. They're going to feel very unfinished. And that's fine because I'm not going for a pretty look. What I'm going for is something that just feels more cohesive on my face and de-emphasizes, ideally, the dryness and rosacea and texture, ideally. And again, just makes it more cohesive and a smoother look. That's what I'm going for. where did I put the... Oh. Clear cap is hard to identify. So the other thing that I want to do is, because I've been saying that I find bronzer intimidating. So I have what should be a very lightweight, subtle formula. Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. All over warming complexion tint. And I'm still a little bit undecided about the shade, but I decided not to return it to see if the next one works better, because I think it'll just be too big of a jump, especially with the sort of lighter application that I'm going for and the more subtle application. I think that trying to have this, blend this and get it to match as well as it can is probably the best approach. The crinkling is that I have a new brush, the e.l.f. liquid blush brush, and it's angled. It's not, I think I would prefer to have a little bit bigger brush, but I'm seeing some good effects from people using more of an angled one to kind of sweep up and around the cheeks. And so I'm giving that a try, and then I'll be on the lookout for something that's a little bit bigger and fluffier in that same style. But when I was browsing, I didn't find anything in kind of in the lower price range that seemed to fit the bill. There are some excellent brushes out there from Sigma, BK. They cost a lot more than the actually really solid ones that you can find from e.l.f. and Eco Tools and Real Techniques at drugstores and Ulta. So I've got the product on the brush, I'm tapping it on my hand to even things out and get the smoothest application so that I won't have a ton of product actually on the brush when I apply it. Then we'll start up here and we'll just bring it in. Just a little bit of a glow. Now, do I think that that is an effective thing to do on top of this weirdly cakey product? Not really. If I weren't recording this, I probably wouldn't bother. But I did want to work with the product a little bit more on camera, talk about it a little bit more, give myself a chance to collect my thoughts. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to wash it off after I do the weed whacking. So for allergy management, I usually shower after anything that can move pollen around. All right, let's try the other side. It is a really nice creamy formula. I like the texture of it. And I'll definitely be continuing to give it a shot on like other bases. Should I come lower? Maybe I should. Just a tiny bit. Just buff it in lightly. But yeah, it's a dramatic jump from the chalkiness and weird cakiness around the middle of my face and this soft glow. My face is probably about 3 colors right now, at least. So it's a bit hard to tell if the undertone of the product is a good fit for me, but I suspect on something that does give me a more even neutral effect, it should be fine. If anything, I'd say it's not that it goes orange so much as a little yellow maybe. And I think I have a little bit more on one side, but there's not a lot that I can do in terms of blending at this point, given the texture of the Kosas Bb Burst. There's no bursting involved. One of my earlier video where I was trying this, when I was editing, I looked at my forehead and I was just like, Audrey, blend your forehead. Because it wasn't a gradient so much as kind of a warm stripe. And, well, then we run into the dry patch. So, all right, not my finest work. However, I am liking the Makeup by Mario product more as I use it more. So that's good. All right, let's try to find some redemption in choosing a lip product. It will absolutely be better than everything else to this point. I have a few things sitting here. So I have this e.l.f. lip oil that I've used previously in a video, but I don't think I've shown off the NYX Butter Gloss. This is not a new product at all, but it is a really good formula, really creamy. You can do as heavy a color as you want, but also sheer it out. Really, it works really nicely, and it doesn't stay all day, but I don't actually like lip products that do. I would prefer to have something that wears off and I put something else on, and that just feels more comfortable to me. So I think I'm going to go with this. Let's check the application here. That feels even. And you can see it's sort of a maybe caramel beige kind of thing. Not too warm or too orange on me. And it's a little messy around the lip line, but I don't mind that. I mostly care about the texture and whether the color some colors really make my rosacea look brighter. So I try to find things that don't, by contrast or whatever, emphasize it, and aren't too orange or too, way too warm, because that tends to make me look weirder and pastier, less healthy. So yeah, I'm happy with that. The one thing, if nothing else, you can find a lip product that makes you happy. So, all right. Today's verdict. I wanted to like this product. Unfortunately, I'll see if a friend wants it. Maybe I know somebody who has oilier skin or something that might give it a better chance. But for me, this is not going to be a thing that works. So I'll either give it away or I might hold on to it for comparison's sake, so that I can talk myself out of buying other similar products that probably also won't work for me. Sometimes that helps. Yeah, and butter gloss, like I said, I'm a big fan. Comes in a lot of colors. It's cheap. You should, next time you're at the drugstore, grocery store, browsing Ulta, whatever, have a look. See if there's one that appeals to you. I recommend it. And the brow pencil I've talked about before, it's basic, it's cheap. The key is just finding the right color. And this thing, the Skin Enhancer, yeah, I'm going to keep playing with it. I don't think that it really did anything noteworthy today, but I can see it has potential, so it'll be appearing in the future. All right. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me while I go on this journey of skin product experimentation and disappointment. It happens. I hope that by doing this, by filming it, talking about how it works on my skin, that it will help other people find out if it's going to work for them. I don't think, again, that it's a bad product. I just think that the capacity that it has, the formula, the capabilities, are not the thing that I need. And so I will have to keep looking for the tinted moisturizer of my dreams. If it exists out there, maybe someday I'll find it. So thank you for being here. Give the video a like if you found it useful. That helps other people find it in their recommendations so they can also see if this is going to be a good product for them. And I hope that you'll subscribe so you can stick around and see more of this. I have a whole list of other foundations that I'm trying. There's a spreadsheet linked in the description. So if you want to know what's on deck, what I've tried, some notes about how the shade matches especially, then that is there for you. And yeah, I'm so happy to have you here. I hope you have a great day. Bye.